Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be showing you some stretches from the seated, the standing position, as well as stretches you can do either on the ground or on your bed. And these will be great for improving your flexibility, your joint mobility, and improving posture and better oxygenation to your body so you're less likely to get injured. So let's get started. First, let's learn the position of our thumb, not overly bent, but straight down so that when you put pressure on it, it will not harm your joint. So you notice that it will stay straight. And we're going to take our thumbs and place them at the base of the skull, where the acupuncture point gallbladder 20 is. So it's at the base of your skull, right where the muscle on your neck runs up, and you'll feel a groove. So when you inhale, you can tilt your head back and feel the pressure of your thumbs into the base of the skull. It'll be very relaxing. On your exhale, come down and you can gently loop your fingers together if you like and put some pressure on your head for a deeper stretch. And inhaling, open your chest and pressing your thumbs into the point that we mentioned. And then on the exhale, relaxing, and you can put some pressure to deepen the neck stretch on the back. So you could do this for a couple of breaths, following what feels good for your body and not overdoing any of these stretches. So another point you can put if you have poor sleep is in between that point we just did and the back of your ear. So right in between those 2 points, again, so there's the point that we had just placed our thumbs, and then halfway between that point and the base of your ear is a point that is good for insomnia and improving sleep. You might find it quite tender, so depending on how you're feeling, you can either put more or less pressure. Inhaling as you put the weight of your head into your thumbs, and exhaling and returning back to neutral and gentle tilting your head down, and inhale looking up again. It feels really good to move with your breath, and make sure you don't move too quickly so you don't get dizzy, and if at any point you feel discomfort or pain, that's your body telling you you're probably moving out of your range, so don't do that. And always remember to breathe. The next exercise, you can look over your shoulder to one direction and you can hold the back of the chair to help you twist your spine. And on the exhale, relax. Inhale, lengthening the spine, and then on the exhale, moving into the space that you've just created. Every inhale, lengthening your spine, imagining there's a string from the crown of your head pulling you up to the ceiling and releasing the tension when you exhale. So another way you can do this, which is shown on the other side, if you don't have the back of a chair, if you prefer doing this from a standing posture, you can tuck the back of one hand behind your waist of the direction you are turning towards, and you put pressure against your side, so that will open your shoulder as well. Since we tend to have a hunched posture looking down all the time, this is a great way to open your chest and help you breathe easier and better as well. So spinal twists are a great way for reducing stress. Good job. So next we're going to turn the chair sideways. So you're actually only going to have half of your bum on the chair. This is a variation of the quad stretch you usually do from standing, but here you can get a deeper stretch and you don't have to worry about losing your balance and falling over. So you can either hold the top of your foot as shown here and finding a posture that is comfortable for you and you feel a stretch in the front of your leg. And you can also tuck your foot behind you as that's comfortable on top of your chair. And you can adjust your posture, how forward you are on the chair, and your front leg can be slightly bent as well so that you have better stability. And you can make adjustments so that you get the amount of stretch that you need. So you can also shake your foot a little bit, have a little bit of movement in the hip, and then placing it in a position that is, you feel a good amount of stretch but not pain. And you can exhale and move deeper and lean back a bit if that feels good for you. So again, inhaling, remember you're straightening your spine, and exhaling, you move into the space that you just created with the breath. You can do that for a little bit, and you can gently take your foot off the chair and do this on the other side. And here on the other side, I'm showing you another way to get into the stretch, which is basically a high lunge with the top of your foot on top of a chair. And you can adjust so that you feel the right amount of stretch in the leg that is bent, and it's not painful, and you feel it through the front of the leg. And make sure also that your foot is not hurting from the pressure on the back of the chair. You can always hold the top of your foot as well. And moving on from the standing posture, you can inhale your arms overhead, looking at your hands, and as you exhale, let them drift down to your sides. With either straight arms inhaling up and the back of your hands towards each other, you can come down like this in a dancer stretch, or you can bend your elbows at the top, looking at the ceiling. And when you come down on the exhale, bending your knees on the inhale, and on the exhale, coming down. Again, bending your knees every time your arms cross them, and on the exhale, arms to your side again. So just like you're flying, basically. It's a dancer stretch. So now we're going to do a lazy roll with our neck, and you can also tilt your body so that it matches the roll of your neck. It feels really great, almost like that arcade game where you have to push the ball so that it lands in that curve. Now we're going to turn one direction, and we are reaching forward over the one leg, making sure that toe is pointed in the direction that we're stretching, and you can keep a straight spine as you look and reach over one leg. And you can have the back of a chair or something else to support your hand if you'd like, and that way you can dip deeper and open your chest as well as you're bending forward, so that you're not only stretching the back of your leg, but also the front of your chest and opening up your shoulders. And inhaling, you can turn your torso so that you're now facing forward, feeling a side stretch and opening your rib cage. On the inhale again, you can go over to the other side, this time pointing your toes in the other direction and folding forward, making sure that your opposite arm to the direction that you're stretching is reaching forward and keeping your back straight as you try to kiss your belly to your thighs. And you can relax your whole upper body over your legs if you'd like, bobbing up and down a bit to let gravity help you with the stretching. Always finding a place of ease in the discomfort, not overstretching yourself. And then opening up your side once again on the inhale, reaching up and looking up. And then on the exhale rather, you can also reach your arm overhead and inhaling the arm straight up again into a triangle. And on the exhale, you can come to the center. Gently swiveling into a sumo squat, you can have your weight evenly distributed and feeling the heels going into the ground. You can sway side to side with your hips a bit, having your hands on your thighs. Also, if you straighten one arm and push onto the thigh, you can even get a nice shoulder opener here. And then when you inhale, you can come back to standing, have your toes point forward, and come back to center. Next, we'll do a forward fold. So I'm showing you from the side here that you can gently roll your vertebrae one by one down so that you are touching the ground, or you can have your hands on opposite elbows and let your neck and head hang loose, nodding your head yes and no, letting gravity just pull and lengthen your spine. You can do a gentle bend in your knees as well, coming up halfway, bobbing your head. It all depends on where your flexibility lies. So wherever is comfortable and relaxed, that's where you can stay and move and find a space. So here we can do cat and cow from a semi-squatted position. Or you can use the back of a chair again and essentially do the same curving of the spine. So now from the seated position on the ground, you can have your toes off of the ground and find your balance on your bum here, and you can move a little bit. And then once you're comfortably seated and your lower back is relaxed, you can put one foot over the other straightened leg and swivel like this, having your arm over your upper leg and looking over the shoulder. And you can have your hand on the ground to help you twist even further, pushing on from your forearm onto the leg to help you twist every time you exhale. You can do this on the other side as well, keeping the same leg position. So this way you have a nice torso and spinal twist. You can also use your ankle bone as a massage roller on your thigh and find a position where it's comfortable, seated above your knee. You can push down a bit on the knee so that you get more of a hip opener, and you should feel a stretch in the back of the hamstrings as well. You can reach forward, whether your hands stay at your feet or you're able to hook your finger over your big toe. Just try to open up those hips. You can also do this from a seated position, looping your arm under that crossed leg and having your fingers interlaced underneath the back of the thigh and pulling your leg closer to you You may have a rounded spine for this, or you can also hug your leg as if it's a baby and rock it back and forth, pulling it closer and further from you. So now you can do the same sequence on the other side, having your leg cross over your straightened leg and twist your torso behind you. You can also hug your knee to your chest, opening up the hip that way if it feels more comfortable, and doing less of a twist if you find that the more advanced version is uncomfortable and outside of your range. And then again, on the exhale, you can turn towards the other direction. So here you can stay for a few breaths, just opening up the chest and having your one hand behind you and one that is gently putting pressure on your shin to open up the upper body. And again, you can roll the ankle of that leg over the thigh of the other leg, finding a comfortable position for it to stay as you lean forward. And you can reach either putting your hands on your shins or two fingers looped over your big toe. So now we're coming back to that massage roller technique you can do with your ankle and finding a comfortable position. Here is the one with the bent knee where you're threading the needle and placing your interlaced fingers underneath the thigh or on top of the shin and pulling that whole unit towards you if you want to test your balance, having just your buttocks as the contact with the ground. And then you can gently let yourself back to a straightened position and finding some ease here as you straighten your spine. And then you can take that leg into your arms, rocking at it once again. You can move that hip side to side, rocking back and forth, pulling it closer and further away from you, maybe drawing some figure eights, whatever feels good, and find your room to move. And then finally, we can go down onto our back, slowly vertebrae by vertebrae. And this is a great way to get your splits. Honestly, this is how I got mine, where in bed every night I would draw circles with my leg, either with fingers interlaced underneath the thigh, above the knee, or if you want to go straighter, it helps as well to have it behind your calves and not worrying so much about how straight it is, but every time just opening up your hips even further and having it closer to your face as you draw circles. You can also do this in an inhale, bending, exhale, straightening technique. And here I'm showing you holding your hand closer to the ankle, and it's like almost like an oil rig. Inhale, it's going to dip down, and exhale, it's going to straighten, trying to keep it in relatively the same position every time you straighten. And then with a straight leg, you can try those same leg circles once again, pulling it closer to your head finally, and feeling that stretch in your hamstring every time. You can also feel the resistance. You're doing a bit of an arm workout as well. When you put it closer to your face, there's more of a deeper stretch, and just working within your comfort zone and stretching a little bit further every time. You can switch your legs, and again, interlacing your fingers behind the back of the thigh. You can draw some circles like this, just warming it up, and also making sure your lower back is firmly in contact with the ground and rounded out so that you don't have any discomfort or injury. If needed, you can also have a towel underneath your back so that there's not an uncomfortable hollow between you and the floor, or I would suggest doing this on a bed as well. So you can also do these with a bent knee, and it'll be great for those tight hip flexors. And again, you can do an inhale and exhale, making sure your interlaced fingers are not right behind your knee, but either above or below it. You can inhale, have a bent knee, and exhale. Try to straighten it with the same distance of the leg to your face. So this way you can create more space, and then once you are more advanced, you can move your hands further up your leg, perhaps on your calves, and doing the same leg circles more in a relaxed manner with a slightly bent knee, or you can straighten your leg each time, feeling the stretch on your hamstring as you go closer and closer to your face. And this is back more into a hip flexor opening. You can get bigger circles if you have more of a bent knee, so it all depends on what you feel like accomplishing that day. And then you can, using the momentum from kicking your legs, come back to a seated position. If it feels good, you can also do a forward fold, having your belly over your thighs, and then straightening them. And then lastly, if you'd like to try Happy Baby, this is a great hypno opener as well. You can do this by having your hands on the inside of your soles and trying to put your knees in your armpits. You can straighten one leg after another, rocking your back. This is great for relaxing your lower back as well. You can pivot your hips side to side and really just moving however makes you happy. And then here I'm just windmilling them back to center and coming back to standing. Hope this helps you, and see you next time!